I'm here knee riding Mikhail, and he will usually block that knee because it's quite uncomfortable. He wants to push it away from him. When he does that, it creates a gap. So his elbow is flared and it creates a gap where I can underhook this arm here. As soon as I underhook it, I'm gonna grab his shoulder and turn him onto his side. So I like to post this hand on the mat, and that helps me push off like that, okay? Once we're here, I'm going to step over him. So I generally put this knee down, and now this leg's gonna step over the head. Sometimes Mikhail knows that's coming, so he'll put his head up to block my leg. So I gently push down on the head, and then I can step over. Once I step over, I pinch my knee to his shoulder blades here, like this. If I don't do this, if I'm nice and sloppy like that, Mikhail will just go flat on his back again, and I lose the control here. I have to keep his back exposed here. So from there, I pinch. Now all I'm gonna do is pivot. My hips stay very low to his head. I pivot on the spot here, and I pinch my knees together. It's okay for this knee to be behind his back. From here, I grab the wrist, one hand, then the other. I pinch my knees or heel to my butt and fall back gently. From here, I don't really have to lift my hips up because Mikhail's back is facing away from the ground, which means the armbar will come on a little bit quicker than usual. So from here, we'll just extend nice and gently till I get the tap. So some common mistakes for this position, and also some extra tips to make this position better. So the first one is when I get this underhook, really important to hold the shoulder. And when I turn Mikhail to his side, what I want to avoid is him putting this arm on the other side of my head, because then there's no armbar. So a good way to think about it is putting my own elbow into his belt and then putting my shoulder on top of his elbow. So I'm really like squishing Mikhail's hand into his own ribs here. Try to get that, I keep my head low as well. So if you try to get your forearm on the other side of my head, it's stuck there, okay? The next important thing is that we keep Mikhail on the side. So that also prevents him slipping back into side control, which is not a terrible position, but there's no armbar there. So I wanna keep him rolled onto this side. So Mikhail, try to roll on your back now. It's much harder when I'm staying heavy on his ribs, okay? The head is important, we already talked about that. He can block this with his hand and his head. So I push the head down. Now, his second chance to go flat is when I switch directions. So when I go to here, if my leg is not blocking his back, he will slide back, okay? So make sure this is nice and tight. This is another common error. Usually when people first start doing this position, it's very tempting to lift the hips to sit down. Watch what happens as soon as I lift the hips up, Mikhail slips, and then I lose the position. Really important that I spin nice and low, my hips stay near his head, and I just spin on the spot. What we aim to do is have this shin near his armpit. That's a really good way to have an aim of where to end up in this armbar. From here, I spin on the spot, and my shin is right behind Mikhail's armpit here. From here, all I have to do is pinch my knees together, curl my heel to Mikhail's body or my own butt, and now the last thing to do from this controlled position, get the wrist and lie back.